To this edition of Ask Isaiah. This is your host Isaiah Rhodes, and I'm here with my man HG, the
Yo,
CEO of Masterclass NYC, not just with music, but a whole bunch of different just avenues for creatives beyond just music. It's merch, it's magazines, it's everything. So I'm here with the man with the plan. H, how you feeling,
yo,
man?
man, what up, ex Isaiah people, man? Yo, this has been a long time in the making, feel me?
Right, right, right.
Brother, yo, if you want insight on anything from sports to just the culture, period, like, I don't do anything, I don't do any projects, I don't do anything without including this person right here because he just got so much knowledge, man, and so much energy, and he just brings so much to the table that, yo, I just value your opinion, so I'm happy to just be on the show, man, happy to just, you know what I'm saying? We had to link up one time and talk that
Right.
cloth, feel me, that cloth talk. So let's
Definitely,
get it
most
going.
definitely. Um, but I just wanted to, do this interview because most recently I watched the interview with Nipsey Hussle in the Breakfast Club, and he shed a lot of insight on a lot of the things you speak about, not just in your music, but in all of your creative outputs to the world, just about just grinding and creating your own entity beyond chasing somebody else's opportunity, creating your own opportunity. So I just wanted to get your thoughts about how you really establish your brand and what were some inspirations you had to really go set on this path.
I mean, the reason why I established my brand in the first place was because I always see a void in the things that I'm passionate about. So the whole reason why Masterclass was even thought of was because it was a space, it was to create a space that wasn't there before. Like people, like, with music right now, everybody's like, yeah, I don't listen to trap, I don't listen to this. So I said, let me just make the music that I want to listen to and that let me make the clothing that I want to wear. Let me make the magazine that I want to read and the people that I know would be interested in it. And that's just the basis idea of how it started. And the inspiration, the inspiration has been just, the independent grind, the Rockefellers, the No Limits, the Birdman, just getting it from the ground up because I feel like it's more special that way. I feel like, you hustle, you have your idea, and when it works, it's just something crazy. So I seen those guys do it, and I seen nobody gave them a lane in the game. They created their own lane, and I always been fascinated by just the boss moves and things like that because I just feel like it's more respected in the game. Like it's just more ill when you could say, "Yo, that's my shit." Like I created that instead of somebody saying, "Well, I created him" or "I created that for him" or gave him a handout. It was like, "Nah, we built that together." You know what I'm saying? And that's been the inspiration behind everything now. So that's where it started at. It really started there, yeah.
Well, what I'm amazed with it, not just with your brand, but it's the versatility of it. It's not just with music, it's with magazines, it's with clothes and different things of that nature. So was it anything that, that you wanted to do first and then it grew, or you just always wanted to touch those different outlets?
My whole thing is I'm a creative first. So anything that I'm passionate about, it's like whatever in the creativity field. Cause my whole saying was I don't want to be the best at one thing. I want to be good at everything. So, and then that adds up. Like when you talk about sports, you talk about Michael, he wasn't just a dunker. Michael had the fadeaway. He had the little crossover, even though AI did some crazy shit, but he had the crossover. You know
Most
what I'm
definitely.
saying? He had the step back. He could shoot the three when he needed to. So I took that mentality and applied it to my field where it's like, I'm passionate about music. I'm passionate about create magazines and style and different things. So the first thing that I was inspired by was always the music, but I never could find like that lane to get into. I used to always be like, I listen to music. Do I want to be a DJ? Do I want to rap? Or do I want to, what I'm saying, just be in the background? So my whole that's what started first. And even with you, we used to freestyle back in the day, you know what I'm saying, in the dorms and stuff. And all of that stuff, when I started doing music, it came back to me because I was like,
Right.
whoa, like the sign's always been there, but I just never really picked up on them until I had to, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
because it comes to a certain point where you like, this is what I want to do and this is where I want to be. So the music came first, and once I figured that out, I always had style since I was a kid, but that came a little bit after because getting into clothing it's a whole nother monster. It's like you got to find a way to get it done at, but that's a whole nother thing. But definitely the music came first, and that's what inspired everything else in a sense, because you know the MC is like the guy. Like if it
Right.
started with the DJ and then it switched to the MC, so that's what came first, and that's what I've been going with. I really had to lock in and focus in
Right.
music.
More than anything though, what I recognize, especially with not just you but with your team at Masterclass, you guys really focused on the digital aspect and utilizing the internet to build your brand. So how important is
Yo, digital is the wave, man. Digital, you know, I was early on digital, you know, before people were still making CDs and things like that. I was like, man, we got to switch to social media. Like, I feel like I was one of the first people on Instagram when they had like the 7 filters. You didn't even, you know what I'm saying? I was the first on Twitter, first on a lot of different things, because I felt like, especially if you're independent, you try to find every angle to get your art out. You know what I'm saying? You try to
right,
find because, you know, it's easy to go hand out CDs and stuff, or it's easy to go downtown and just be like, yo, pay $5 for my mixtape. But that used to always irk me, you know? And I'm like, yo, you could be online where the demographic is endless. Like,
hmm
I could release something here and people in Germany are getting it, people in like France and Tokyo. Like, that's another one of my goals was that to, you know, spread it across the world. And I can't do that with hand in hand. Like, I can't mail you my song, but I could share it with you, you know, anywhere in the world. Like, I would record a song in Paris and I send it to you and you in the States, you know what I'm saying? Things like that.
right,
So that's what I love about digital. We were early on Facebook. We were early on all the, you know what I'm saying, the social media. That's been the inspiration. You know, we just being early on different things, early on social media, just using it to our advantage. And eventually it switched over. You know what I'm
right,
saying? People was like, yo, we're not doing CDs no more. We're not doing like print is, you know, now we could bring back print, but in the beginning, it was so expensive to get a print out magazine. It was like $50 a issue, or
right,
$50 a copy. I'm like, nah, man, I'm gonna find an online magazine where you could flip through it on your device and you could read it anywhere. And that shit just changed the game for me. Now
right.
everybody's like on digital magazines, and that's something that we utilize, you know?
So for a creative like yourself, finding inspiration to whether it might funnel like one spark might be the music, then another phase of the year might be locking in on the magazine. So how do you know when it's time to deviate to a different avenue? Like what's like
I feel like
is it a process for you or it just comes when it's ready?
it's a vibe. Like, it's just a vibe, you know. The music, one thing is, like, the thing that I love about creativity is it's inspired by your life. You know, whatever life you live in, you know what I'm saying? That's where the creativity comes in. So if you go to like a lot of concerts or you go to a lot of live events and you listen to music, you like, man, I want to make a song like that. Yo, I want
Right,
to make a record or mixtape that's, you know, that's based on, that's live, you know, that people are gonna, when they hear that song in the club, that's the reaction I want to get from my music. So um the way I differentiate is, sometimes I just think to myself, I was like, yo, what do I want to do right now? And
mm,
what's inspiring me and what's missing? So with the magazine, basically I get inspired like when I go out to like downtown the city, I see different outfits. I'm like, whoa, like, I'll take different pictures because, you know, I love taking pictures. So
right,
I see a little picture I take, I'm like, man, that could be in a magazine. And then I just build the content from there. And with the music, you know, we go to a lot of events and stuff. So when we in there and I hear a song, I'm like, nah, that'll sound better if I do it, or that'll sound better like this. So, and with me, it doesn't take that long to lock in. Once I lock in, it's a wrap. Like, I'm focused on that one thing. So it's easy for me to differentiate because I know once I lock in with that focus, I could get it done. And once it's done, then I could just move on to the next thing and move on to the next. So, but creativity wise and inspiration, it's all of that, man. It's just seeing things, seeing different things and applying it to, you know, what we doing.
with your music you released three projects so far.
Woo! Number 3. Yo, if we was in the other crib, man, I'll show you the frame that we got. You know, we got them framed up. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? The next thing is them plaques, man. We got to get the plaques framed up. But yeah, continue, man. My fault. I didn't mean to go Fat Joe on you and cut you off like
Yeah. So
Nori.
your first project where it was 25 to Life, you released that, and getting the first one recorded and releasing and streaming, to see where that particular album was at that time, and then your recent release, I Got It From Here. Can you express, some of the growths and some of the milestones and adversities that you went through to actually get from one album to the next? Like, what were some things that really developed in terms of creating those projects?
Man, do we have enough time, man? Do we have enough time? Basically, the eras that we were in is one of the things that differentiate the projects, because I like to think of projects as timestamps in the
Right.
eras that we in. So XXV to Life, that's like the first project. That's everybody says it takes your whole life to make your first project, but previous to that, I was working in the background. That's how I really got passionate about making music, because I was working in the background with a group, and they had so many opportunities, and not to talk shit or nothing like that, but they had so many opportunities to, like, advance so far, but they didn't take the opportunity. So I seen that and I was like, whoa, time out. Like, you're not doing that. My cousin, he had a studio in his house. So I used to be over there every single day. I used to work like down the block from his house. And then I used to go to the studio after work, and they'll be
Right.
working on their stuff. So one day he playing the beat, and I'm like, oh nah, I think I got something from this, because previous to that I was just writing shit down on my phone. I had a BlackBerry. I was just writing shit down. Like, I hear bars, I'm like, oh shit, this could go dope with that. And I used to just like give ideas, like, yo, now you should say this or that. So once the day that happened, I recorded the first verse to Calling All Dances, which is on XXV to Life. And I was like, nah, I think I could do this. And then I went to Miami, and I was in the club, and Pop That was playing, and Pop That was like the hardest song at the time. Like, that shit was like, if that was the last song, in the club when they play the last song, they're like, this is the hit right now. So I heard that, and I'm like, yo, my song that I have on my phone could literally go before this, or it could go after. Like, it's that lit. So I was like, from there, I started, writing shit down, getting beats together, basically A&R in the first project. I was like,
Right.
this is how I want it to sound. This is the direction I want to go in. I want to include, the tough shit that we've been through. I want to include that in there somehow,
Right.
but I was so selfish with it, because I was like, yo, like, this is my first project. Like, I'm not compromising nothing. I'm gonna say what I want to say. And at the time, people were on the mumble rap. They was like, yeah. I was like, no, I'm a rap. I don't care. I'm gonna squeeze these bars in this fucking pocket so much. You know what I'm saying? Because I got so
Right.
much to say. So when I record, and then Pierre's, shout out to my brother Pierre. We were talking for weeks, and he was like, yo, I'm gonna just buy you a mic, because we was looking at different mics, and we was looking at different software to record, because I didn't have the studio in my house. I didn't have
Right.
shit. And my cousin was busy. He was doing his own thing. So I couldn't bug him about, yo, let me go to the crib and record. And I didn't know how to engineer. I didn't know how to mix. I didn't know how to master. I didn't know how to do none of that shit. My cousin, he taught me the 4-bar structure. And I just was studying everybody. You name Jay-Z, Biggie, Nas, all the greats. I was like, yo, I'm studying them. I'm gonna learn their patterns. I'm gonna learn their little ins and outs. I'm gonna learn what they do, so I could just not rap the same way, but take from what they did and you apply it to mine. So when I listen to verses now, I break them down, and it taught me to appreciate music a little bit more, because I'm like, wow, like Nas, he does rhyme every last word with the first word, and Biggie, man, his structure is crazy. Like, we'll have that conversation anyway. With that first project, I learned everything on that first project, man. I learned how to mix, I learned how to master, I learned how to produce my own sound. I learned how to basically start a project from scratch, and with the rollout and everything, I learned so much on that first project. So transitioning to this project right now is just a culmination of just everything that I've learned throughout doing those different things. And then now I was like, now I can make music for the people now,
Right.
because all last year I was just going to different places. I was going to, meeting different people, meeting, tons of artists, and hearing their music, and being at events and hearing what worked and what didn't work. And from there I was like, okay, so now I'm gonna make music for the times, you know, because XXV the life was for me. Now I'm gonna make music for the people. I'm gonna make shit that people could enjoy. It's not gonna be super duper lyrical, issy bissy, all of that, because you know I could do that already.
Right.
That was the first thing. That was my whole thing, was to prove that I could rap. I did that already. Now I could just make music for me. So when this project started, that's the mentality I went into. And for me to record music, it don't take that long, man. I basically, it takes me like a week or 2 weeks to get a project done, because I just lock in and just focus. So when I got it from here, that's what happened. You know, it was just magic.
Right. I mean, you have Trying to Chill, you got
Woo!
you got like different songs that reflect, it shows you can put them on at different parts of a year or a day, like you said, like timestamps. It'll reflect a certain energy. So for you, just expressing that, going to different places and picking up that energy and understanding, where certain tracks should be and sequencing and things like that.
Right.
That shows great growth. Yeah.
I was playing the music for you, and I was, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, I want to get his reaction on these different songs, because I know, and that helped me with the sequencing too, because I was like, yeah, this could go here. I get the most reaction from this song. So that's what helped with the sequencing as well, and placement and all that. It's a good one, man. It's a good one. If y'all haven't listened to it yet, y'all better get to it. It's streaming everywhere. Not shameless plug.
Yeah, definitely. I got it from here. Make sure you catch it out on Apple Music, every type of streaming service available. Google Play,
Yo,
Spotify, everything.
everywhere, man. And it's doing so great, man. It's going, you know, different countries. This shit is just going off crazy.
Right.
Only thing we got to get to is these damn visuals, man. Shit.
So when you speak about, not just creating these projects, but speak about your team and how important it is to cultivate relationships to help you to execute these
Yep.
grand ideas.
Man, the team is probably the most important thing, because me, I say energy wise, you know what I'm saying? It's good to have a person you could bounce ideas off, and it's good to have somebody that believes in you, because once that happens, it's like, because it's always like you make things, my whole creative aspect is like you make things for, if it connects with one person, then you did your job. Like it connected with that person. So once the people on your team connect with it and they give you their honest opinion, they be like, nah, that ain't it. Like, I don't think you should do that. Or I think you should go this way, or you should do this and you should do that. Because when you're creative, it's easy. It's easy to take all the credit. It's easy to say, yeah, I did this. Yeah, I did that. You know, I made that. But, you know, the team is the people that speak for you when you're not there. Like, so that's very important, because in this game, you're not going to do it by yourself. It's not going to happen. Like, you can't Michael Jordan. You seen what happened with Jordan before he got Scotty, before he got Phil. You know, he was doing it all by himself. Same shit with Kobe before he got Gasol, you know, after Shaq and all of that. He was trying to do it by himself, and you can't do it. Like, there's no way you're going to win that championship if you don't have the right players around you. So with me, I was like, yo, I have to get the right people around me that believe in me. And sometimes it motivates you, and other times it's like you want to prove them. You want to prove something. Like, yeah, like I could do this. You know what I'm saying? So the team is the most important thing. Plus, you know, that's extra. That's extra, just hands. Like, yo, this person is getting the word out, because that's what you need, especially in creativity, especially if you want to sell your art, especially if you want to be successful at it. You need people talking about it. Like, yeah, because the only reason you make art is to get a reaction, like either good or bad, or if they feel something, then again, you did your job. So your team just helps you do that. Plus, if they on point with it, it makes execution so much easier, because you know they got you. Like when I tell I'm like, yo, for the magazine, man, I need a write up, I need a feature, and you deliver. It's like, wow, it's something that I don't even have to worry about no more, because I know you got it. It's not a question, and I love that shit, because I'm like, especially if you boss, or you working from the ground up, you always need people that you could rely on, because this game is so crazy. You run into a lot of people that be like, yeah, I could do that for you, and when it's time to get it done, they're like, So yo, I'm telling you, man, you meet a lot of bozos, like a lot of bozos. And if I could give any advice to somebody, to stay away from the bozos, because you meet a lot of them. They're gonna tell you they could do this shit for you, and then when it's time to deliver, they come up with the air ball, and you're like, fuck.
Right.
So team is important, man. Definitely get you a solid team.
One of the great contributors to a lot of your success is your sister
Yeah,
Zinzi. Can you
yeah.
speak to, how y'all complement each other in terms of just building and just expanding your empire?
Man, Z is a beast. Like Z is a beast, man. Me and Z, like, it's crazy because we're so different, but we the same in like wanting that next level for each other, like wanting that success. So like we complement each other in the sense of like if I could do something to help her, she don't even be wanting my help. I'll be like, yo, let me. She be like, nah, I got this. Or she'll come to me and be like, yo, H, help me with my website or help me with my playlist and things like that. And I'll come to her for music because she's really like super passionate about music. Like that's her thing. Like she knows all the songs, every rapper, everything. Like if you ask Z about any new artist, old artist, she'll tell you like that. Like, yeah, I was on that when I was in Atlanta. So I'll come to her for music things like, yo, what you think about this? What you think about that? And she's always giving out advice, like always giving out the best advice when you need it the most. She'll be like, yo, just do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just do it.
Mm-hmm.
So, we complement each other in that sense. And in another sense is like we compete like hard. Like
Right.
she want the best website, I want the best website. You know what I'm saying? Or she wants to do the best shirt, I want to do the best shirt. You know what I'm saying? So when she
Right.
come with an idea, I'm like, let me flip that and come back. And she'll
Right.
come
Right. Right.
when I present an idea, she'll be like, all right, and then she'll go and do her thing, and she'll come back, and I'll be like, wow, like we very ultra competitive with each other, but it's at the end of the day, it's benefiting us both. So I love it. You know what I'm saying? I love it. It's like having the best of the best in your corner. Is nothing like it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my dog.
Yeah, most definitely, man. I can't wait to see what you guys have in store for the 2018.
Nah, man, what she got in store, man, yo, I'm telling you, bro, what she got in store for 18, especially in the coming months, yo, when she do this little, I give you a little hint, when she do these little events, this should be a little crazy. So she, yo, oh man, I can't even,
Yeah,
I can't. I'm
you
gonna
gotta
just
you
sit
got
back.
you gotta let them see it to believe it, right?
Yo, I'm telling you, man, and you're gonna be amazed because
Right.
she's really hustling. Like she's out here, you know what I'm saying, really hustling, really going hard. And I just admire that because like she don't stop. Like she just keep going. Every time, like every knockdown she get up, she like, I'm gonna keep going, I'm gonna find a way. And that shit right there, when I see her doing that, that shit inspires me to go even harder. So
Right.
wait till you see what she got, man.
So, in terms of like, especially as an entrepreneur, as an artist, how do you spoke about, in creating your first album, that it was about the authenticity to you, making sure that you keep that integrity from a business perspective, and especially, you know, as an entrepreneur, how do you maintain in terms of making sure you're learning the business and applying it to whatever projects you got going forward in terms of staying solid in the industry?
Basically with the business aspect of it, it's like you always you never want to, when people say sell out, it's like you don't never want to feel like you sold out or you compromise yourself, you know what I'm saying, to get a certain amount or whatever the case is. So with the business senses, I always pursue business opportunities that I'm passionate about and that I can make my own. So with the music, you know, the first project we didn't sell it. It was like,
Right.
we didn't sell it. We didn't put it up. We only put it up on SoundCloud and different streaming sites, and we kept it. But with the second project, I'm like, the first project connected so much that with this second project, I wanted to sell it. I wanted to expand it just to have that market and that reach. So with the business, it's tough because it's hard to be the suit and the creative
Right.
because you want to get fair value for your art, but once you finish doing the art, man, you got to turn into a shark, and you have to really, find the avenues, because making profit, especially as an independent artist, is tough. Like that shit is tough. Like
Right.
I'm not gonna bullshit you. I'm not gonna even your own friends. You tell them, yo, buy my CD, they be like, You know what I'm saying? So you
Right.
have to you have to diversify your portfolio. You gotta boss up. Like that's it's not one thing. It's never
Right.
one thing. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't say, yo, I'm gonna do music. And there's so many different places that you could profit on. And if you just limit yourself to doing music, you always gonna it's a lot of stuff you could profit on in music. I'm not even gonna lie. Like you could put your publishing, you could do, you know what I'm saying? You could sell your publishing, you could write for other artists, you could, percentage on songs, all type of different shit. But in terms of learning the business is always hands on. You only
Right.
gonna learn if you do it. You only gonna learn if you just put the shit out there and actually pursue it. So everything that I've learned so far is basically me being hands on, me being just like fuck it, I'm gonna just do it and see what happens. And that's with that and diversifying, whether it's music, whether it's clothing, whether it's the magazine, whether it's you know what I'm saying. Right now I'm thinking about doing well, I'm not gonna tell that. That is something that.
Right. They gotta just see it when
But
it comes.
with the clothing and different things like that, you wrap everything up into that. So like if you have a project out, you definitely have to sell merch. Like that's
Right.
one thing. So you wrap your clothing into the merch and you create avenues like that because when you make clothing, it's like you want to spend the least amount to make the most amount. You know what I'm saying? You want to find somebody that's going, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna charge you less to make the shirt and you could charge it up. No offense to everybody, that's just business. You feel me?
Right.
So I've been able to, and also being in the culture, like being in the culture presents opportunities as well. Like you might go to an event and you might be able to buy some things and resell it. You might be able to, it's just being in the know-how. Like this is what's hot right now and I'm a profit off what's hot. So I made a lot of different moves last year that benefited me just by knowing about it. Like
Right.
I went to this off-white Virgo event and just by knowing about it, I made racks. It was crazy. So just knowing the culture that you're in, knowing what's hot, you know what I'm saying, diversifying your portfolio, not just limiting yourself to music, and also having your business straight in the music because there's so many artists out here right now that don't know one thing. They just put their music up on iTunes and think that they're gonna sell it that way. Whereas though you could get paid for your streams, you could get paid for being on SoundCloud, you can get paid, you know what I'm saying, for different things. You can get paid for publishing. Just because you're not on a label don't mean you gotta think that you're on a label when you're making those kind of decisions because all of that shit, when you go to a label and you actually sign your deal, if you have those things in place, then it's gonna make the deal so much better because you don't compromise yourself just to have the deal. You get what I'm saying? Like if
Yeah,
your
most
business is
definitely.
already straight, then once you go to that label and they say, yo, we want 50% of your pub, and you like, whoa, time out, I'm getting this off of my pub, you could be like, nah, we ain't gonna do that. Because
Right.
that's so important. Publishing is so important. Like I tell every person, yo, if you an artist, make sure once you get to that next level, make sure your publishing is straight, make sure your business is straight because these niggas they'll get you out here for
Right.
everything that you have. So not to make that answer long, but it's
It's
different things.
important, and it's important, man. You need to hear it in terms of just being creative, and in this culture, and in these times now, a lot of different avenues are out there for everyone to be independent and create. But you also want to, like you said, you want to be reciprocated for your art as well.
Yeah, like you
So,
have to turn into a shark, man. Like it's not, this shit ain't a game out here, man. If you think you just gonna be an artist and you just gonna, I'm gonna just paint my canvas, or if you're not gonna do it, put people around you that are looking out for your best interest in that sense too. You know what I'm saying?
right.
But get a manager around you that's gonna tell you, yo, we gotta handle this situation, in terms of like you gotta get your business straight. That should be the first thing your manager should tell you, like, yo, your business should be 100. Like, are you signed with a publishing company? If not, are you collecting your publishing yourself? Is somebody spinning your records? And how you doing that? Are you registered with this? You know what I'm saying? It's so many different things because all those factors, it ain't what like, yo, you could get a $50,000 advance and you like, yeah, I got 50 racks, but yo, like is the fine line that you have to read and be like, how long am I locked in for this? And is this going to affect this? When can I buy my publishing back? And am I giving up anything? So just put people in position that handle those type of things and always check up on them. Always make sure that they doing their thing and always keep your business straight. Because we've seen all these artists that they were popping before and they don't have a dime today, or they were popping before, they not out today, but they good because their business is good. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So just make sure everything is in line, bro. That's all the advice I be giving people. Like, especially when you're creative, especially copyright your designs. You know what I'm saying? Copyright, trademark your logos, do all of that stuff. Cause we started out guerrilla style. We started out like, fuck it, we just gonna put the name out there, put the brand out there. But then people start using your names and using your brand that don't have nothing to do with what you're doing. So imagine somebody wants to profit off of your hard work, then you got to get your shit together because they not playing out here. They could make $1 million and then you make zero and you're like, damn.
What just happened?
No, I'm just saying, like, right now, especially with Masterclass,
Right.
there's a company out there called The Masterclass. And that person does makeup and tutorials, and they're actually like really big. Like, he does makeup for Kim and Kardashian and all the celebrities. And my hashtag I constantly get emails from from people looking for him, and I'm like, yo, this is Masterclass NYC, and we're in a whole nother lane. You know what I'm saying? And he might feel like I'm profiting off of his name, and they might feel like, and I might feel like he's using what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? To get this thing going, because I'm active on social media and I'm constantly like, yo, if you're independent, hashtags are so important. Like, I can't even tell you, like, my Google searches and everything. And when you search the Masterclass NYC is so on point because of the hashtag. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Shout out to Pinterest. It got me lit around the world just off the pictures and stuff. But when I'm active on social media, so I'm constantly using the Masterclass NYC hashtag, and when people see it, they like, whoa, like, is it him or is it me? So that's all about getting a business. My business is straight, so anything that happens, you know, I already got everything on point. But
you're locked in.
Yeah, that's just that, you know.
In terms of the future, you know, you always have things going on. But what are some things that you know that you can expound upon to let people know what's coming up for you?
Well, right now I'm really focused on visuals. Like, I really want to get visuals out because I feel like, you know, even with us doing this interview, I feel like it's so important because the overall message of the company is always putting positive stuff out there and get it to as many people around the world. Like, entrepreneurship is something that we weren't taught when we were kids, or we weren't taught in schools. Schools want to teach you about math and, you know, dividing this and that, and that's cool. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying it's always good to have something that you could call your own. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the spirit that this shit was built upon. Like, it was the big businesses, the person's ideas that became big businesses that ended up building America. So it's like, yo, like, why weren't we taught how to build our own business or our own, you know what I'm saying? So that's always been my mission with my brand, showing people that, yo, if I could do it, you could do it too. As corny as that shit sounds, it's like, man, that's really the mission. So in the future, it's really just about getting visuals out, you know, getting more music out, definitely more music. Like, that shit right there is, I'm always saying I'm going back into the lab, but after this Nipsey album and after seeing Black Panther and, you know, I'm like, yo, I'm inspired to go back into the lab and create more music. The magazine been on hold for a little bit because I've been so busy, and that shit takes so long to just make, because even if you see it's 80 pages, those 80 pages are super detailed. So instead of making the magazine, I just put it into the different posts that are on the website. So that's been on hold, but that's coming back at the end of the year. I'm working on something right now for it. Definitely clothing is coming. Mindset been on a break. I don't know what's happening with Mindset right now. So, you know, they've been chilling. So I guess they eating too good. So, you know, they've been on the break, and I have the clothing line called Staff. It's an acronym. It's acronym for Stay Focused, fam. Because I have a song on I got it from here called Stay Focused. So Staff is coming soon. That's basically for all the working people, everybody that's grinding. You know, it's just a reminder to stay focused. is on the front of the shirt. That campaign is coming. Is going to be crazy. That shit is, the ideas that I have for it and the visuals that I have for it is going to be ill. Like, I'm going to send it to you first. You're going to get the exclusive on that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's ill. So that's what's coming. And we got, you know, I'm trying to put together a show. You know, later on in the year, we're trying to put together a show. What else? We have a few. It's so many things going, and plus we still got to be out here hustling and grinding. So that's definitely, you know, it's a lot of things in the works. That's all I can say.
Hey man, H man, I want to thank you for your time.
Yo,
Man. Let people know where they can find all your work, man. Find you on social media, everything.
Yo, you can find me on social media, the flyest ever. That's on Instagram. On Twitter, you can find us at MasterclassNYC _ because somebody has a name and they not using it. We trying to get that right now. On Facebook, Masterclass NYC, and you could definitely go on the website where everything is, you know what I'm saying? Everything is a hub. So it's masterclassnyc.com. That website is ill. Y'all find everything on there, from clothing and latest events, magazines, videos, whatever you're trying to find is there. Yeah, that's basically where you can find this. Everywhere else, and you know, if you don't know, do your Googles. You know what I'm saying? We out here, young legendary. Feel me?
All right, man. H man, thank you for your time. Continue to inspire, continue to grind.
Yo, man.
Everybody's watching.
Man, I just want to say thank you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because you've been one of the illest people that I've come across in life, bro. Like, no lie. And just, you know what I'm saying, with everything that you're doing. And my whole mission has always been like, if I get on and I go crazy, you're going to go crazy too. So I'm hyped that you even got the show. I was like, oh, nah, we got to, you know, my brother got a show. We got to get on that, man. And, you know, I show love and support whenever I can, because people got to hear what you got to say, man. It's so, your knowledge on everything is just so ill. Your perspective is ill. So, man, I'm happy for you, brother, because you continue that work too, because, you know, every time we link up, it's crazy.
Most definitely, man. Thank you for your time.
And shout out to the Eagles, man. Shout out to the Eagles.
Super Bowl champs, man. They can never take it away. 2017.
We didn't even get the sports talks.
Hey, man, you're going to hear it every week, every day. Make sure you tune in. Ask Isaiah. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Find me on Twitter, Ask Isaiah. On Facebook, Isaiah Rhodes. Everything possible, man. It's all out there for everybody to get, man.